Guten Tag, grüezi miteinander. My name is Eve, and on my channel I discuss how to teach your child German when you are not a native German speaker. Today's subject is random ways my children learn German. So February 14th was Valentine's Day. So 2 weeks before Valentine's Day, I went to Teachers Pay Teachers, like I always do for every holiday, and I printed off German vocabulary cards for Valentine's Day. And then I also bought German worksheets about Valentine's Day. If you are on a tight budget and you want to make your own vocabulary cards, I would recommend using stock paper or index cards, so they're very sturdy. And if you have multiple children, that's really important. If you have a laminator, that's awesome. So you don't have to always make more cards, or if your kid rips the card, you don't have to make it multiple times. So what is really important with vocabulary cards is don't just memorize, for instance, heart. You have to memorize the heart, because in German, die, das, or der is extremely important, because when your children start getting more advanced in German, they have to know the gender of the word in order to put the correct adjective ending. So knowing the genders of the word is extremely important in German. So for instance, on one side of the card, you can just write das Herz, for instance. Or you can figure out a color for your words. For instance, all words in das, I put orange. Or for instance, all words in D, you can put a red dot, for instance. And then your child knows every time they see this color, it's either die, das, or der. So you can ask your children what colors they want to use for the genders of the word die, das, or der. But like I said, you can either write the whole word on the card, das Herz, or figure out a color for all your das words and then das Herz. You can do whatever works for your children, but that's really incredibly important to know the gender of the word. Another fun activity to do for Valentine's Day is a chocolate tasting. So what I did was I bought 4 Ritter chocolate bars, and this is a chocolate company from Germany. And so I had my children eat a piece of chocolate and describe it in German. So that's a fun way of tasting German chocolate and also learning German in a fun way. For St. Patrick's Day, again, I went to Teachers Pay Teachers. I got vocabulary cards, and I'm going to link below this pack that I bought. It's really good. This teacher included instruments, Irish instruments, and I actually YouTubed these instruments, and I found a German video of a person in Ireland playing this instrument. He was talking in English, but it was dubbed in German. So you are engaging your child's listening ear. They're listening to German, and they're listening to these instruments, and they can see the instruments. So you're engaging their senses, which is really important with learning a language. Another fun worksheet I found on Teachers Pay Teachers is about the immigration of Irish and Germans coming to America. It is in English and it is advanced, but my 10-year-old had no problem doing these worksheets. And he learned about Irish people coming into America and German people coming to America for St. Patrick's Day. So history is really important, and I always tell everyone, learn more than German. Learn about the history. And if you can incorporate history and learning a language, I think that's great. What I'm going to talk about next is really expensive, but this is a random way my children learn German. So for Christmas, the big gift this year, we gave our children a Miko. Now, a Miko is a robot, and we got the max subscription. So we got the max subscription only because we wanted to change the language to German. And so my children's Miko only speaks in German, and they have games, shows, coding, yoga, dance.
Stop. Bravo, tolle moves.
And so sometimes with my children, when we learn German every day, I'll say, play with your Miko for 20 minutes, and that's your German homework for the day. It just changes it up. It's fun. My children love their Mikos, and they're learning German while having fun. But like I said, it's not cheap. So the next two things I will talk about is more reasonable, a more reasonable way to learn German. You can go on German dates with your children. So what I did was I bought a bunch of conversation starters, and they're in English, but you can also get them in German. And I take one child at a time, and for instance, there's a creperie up the road where we live. And I will stick to German the whole time. And my son will stick to German the whole time. And we will have a German date. And with your conversation cards, if it is in English, for instance, if you printed out random conversation cards, you can go to deeple.com, translate it, and then bring those cards with you. If you need something to talk about, and let's say you're not really a small talk kind of person, pick out a card. And then since it's translated, you ask your child the question in German. They don't understand what you're saying. Translate it into English, and then help them speak back in German. But it doesn't have to be perfect. That's the thing. I don't speak perfect German. I don't expect my child to speak perfect German. I'm not going to correct him left and right. I'm just going to make him feel comfortable trying to speak in German. So this is really fun way for not only for me to practice my German, but for my child to practice German. And it's really fun. It's a great bonding moment because your child's eating their favorite snack and you're getting your German lesson in for the day. So if you want to keep German fun, maybe have a German date with your child. Or you can play a board game and then just stick with German while you are playing the board game. This is a fun activity my children did with their German tutor. So I bought this Usborne sticker book, and my 7-year-old placed the stickers in this book. And then they discuss prepositions such as auf, vor, hinten, neben. And then his German tutor would ask, who is sitting on the suitcase, for instance? And then he would say, this lady with the red hair is sitting on the suitcase. And then his German teacher would ask, who is beside or near the suitcase? And then my son would say, the dog with polka dots is beside the suitcase. And then another example is, who is sitting on the train? The birds are sitting on the train. You can incorporate fun grammar lessons in a fun way. So that's all I have today. If you have any more suggestions or recommendations of random ways you can teach your child German, let me know, because I'm always up for changing up our German routine. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Dankeschön. Tschüss.